Hey everybody, I'm Carissa. I've been talking a lot lately about breastfeeding related topics. So one of the things that I want to talk to you today is about breastfeeding when you have older kids. So when I was pregnant with Joey, I knew I was going to breastfeed, and my stepson Mark was 9 years old at the time. And my husband he was a little nervous about it, and he kind of said, well, what are we going to tell Mark that you're doing when, you go up to the bedroom to feed the baby, or when he wants to feed the baby with a bottle? How do we explain to him, where you are and what you're doing? So I said, we should just tell him, explain to him that I'm going to be breastfeeding, and that's what, that's what women's breasts are for, and that's what when I go behind closed doors, that's what I'm doing with the baby. So at first he was kind of like, yeah, we tell him. And we did. He kind of thought about it for a few minutes, and we came to the decision that we were just going to explain it to him. So my husband sat him down, and he just kind of said, when the baby comes, he explained that this is how we're going to feed the baby. And he said that, that's what women's breasts are for. And, Mark he was like, okay. Yeah, he was fine with it. He didn't really have too many questions at the time. Of course, we got some questions that came afterwards, and I think that's normal and healthy that they're going to have some questions. Like the next morning after they had that conversation, they were sitting at breakfast, and you could kind of see the wheels turning in his head, and Mark said, so I have a question. When you're at the beach and you see men, and my husband knew where this was going, and he said, is that what their boobs are for too? So, he had some questions. And again, like I said, that was normal, but we just kind of explained to him that no, it's not, not men, just women. And again, and everything was fine. And, and here's the other thing too. If you're not comfortable with exposing yourself in front of your older children or your older stepchildren, that's perfectly fine. Use a cover. I didn't always go behind closed doors. We explained Mark what I was doing. And I personally, it was my choice. I did not feel comfortable exposing myself in front of him. I know that other people are perfectly fine with breastfeeding, completely exposed in public. And I am all for that. Go for it. That just, for me, I wasn't there with my comfort level, and people kind of criticize me for that as well. And if you watch some of my previous videos, you'll see I'm not an advocate for people criticizing you at all for your decisions. It was my decision. I wanted to stay covered up. That's how I personally felt comfortable. I would do that when I was out. But again, if I saw people that were breastfeeding in public and that were not covered up, good for them. I would like to see society go more towards that and be more accepting of it as a whole. But again, if you have older kids, I would just explain to them that that's what it's for, because guess what? Like I said, there are people that are breastfeeding in public. Chances are they're going to see it. They might as well know what it is and what you're doing. It's a perfectly normal thing. He was fine with it. He had some questions, of course, but kids are always going to have questions, and that's normal that they have questions, like I said. So just, if you have older kids, just tell them exactly what you're going to do. Explain to them what breastfeeding is. And if you're not a breastfeeding mom and they happen to see somebody breastfeeding in public and they ask about it, tell them the truth. Raise awareness. It's a good thing. All right? So thanks, guys. Bye.